Hey everyone, this is Nitro. Since it is a Thursday, in this case Thursday, March 19th, there is a new patch released for Langrisser Mobile. So, this patch though really does not have much. Okay. You can see here that there's just a few optimizations and adjustments where there's a heart bond, which is released for Virash, Knight of Mystery, and Alfred. And also, apparently there's an optimized Celestial skin for her Worker Elf skin, as well as her Wolf Rider Commander's battle sprite. I have no idea what that means really. Maybe there were a few bugs with how it looked that they fixed. So, very limited additions with today's patch. However, there is a new limited time summon, which is the Yeless Legends Destiny summon. So I'll talk about that in this video, primarily. So, this particular summon has the following characters. It is 3 characters with Listell, Lanford, and Angelina. And since it is a Destiny summon, the first SSR hero you summon during this event is guaranteed to be an event banner hero you don't have yet. So, for example, if you have Lanford and Listell, you're guaranteed to get Angelina, right? If you have Lanford and Angelina, you're guaranteed to get Listell, and so on. If you don't have any of them, then it's kind of random which hero you get. So, after that first guaranteed hero, however, then it becomes random what you get, you know? It becomes like a higher chance banner, just like the usual, increased chance banners, right? So, in that sense, after you get your first hero, you have an increased chance of getting Lanford, Listell, and Angelina, but you can still get heroes that are off banner after that very first SSR. So, in other words, if you're missing any of these 3 heroes, you absolutely should summon on this banner. It's that simple. If you have all 3, I would generally say the banner is a pass. Okay. So, talking briefly about the 3 heroes, this is my personal opinion of the 3. Listell, in my opinion, is pretty much a must-have hero, both for PvP and PvE. Her use in PvE is that she has 3 primary uses. Okay. The first one is in Timeless Trials. Whenever Timeless Trials has a fixed damage map, Listell can make those battles very, very easy with her Blood Dance, because it does fixed damage equals to half her hit points. So if you have a high hit point Listell, her fixed damage will absolutely annihilate the enemies you face. So that's her first utility. Her second utility is in regular arena, where I use her for pretty much every single auto battle team that I have. Right? Jumping into a battle quickly as a demonstration, for example. The way I have it set up is so that Listell will move forward and toss out a mine board to start. Liana will move forward to act again my Listell. And then Listell will charge forward and use Blood Dance to do massive damage to the enemies. And then following that, I have 2 more AoE attacks, one usually from Rachel, one from Bozel, to wipe out the remaining enemies. Now, in this case, Rachel failed to get the attack off because Listell actually killed off that target up there. But nonetheless, despite that, we'll get to see that basically all of these remaining enemies will more or less suicide into me since they're so heavily damaged already. So that is Listell's second use, right? Quite powerful. Or quite convenient, I should say, because that way I really don't have to fight any of these battles myself. So those are 2 PvE uses. The third PvE use is actually for the Ancient Beckoning battles, specifically for the Nidhogg fight. Okay? Technically, she could be used for both Nidhogg and Fenrir, but realistically, Nidhogg is the only one where she is truly usable. And she's usable there because she can do some AoE damage and so on. And the most important part is she can guard against magic attacks, which is also decent. And finally, she has the ability to provide healing, right? For example, with this effect, right, takes magic damage for adjacent allies. After taking action, if this unit has dealt damage this turn, this skill restores 30% of the unit's max hit points. And the other effect that goes well with this is Bloody Deluge, where when entering battle, this skill reflects 15% of damage received back to the attacker. And after battle, heals all other allies for a percentage of this hero's max hit points, equals to 50% of percentage of damage reflected. So the combination of these two, where if Listell is taking hits, she'll heal, right? She'll heal due to doing damage, and then she'll heal allies due to Bloody Deluge, can keep your allies healthy. She's not considered a top tier hero for the Nidhogg battle, but she can be used to get you to S rank. So depending on what you do, whether you want to actually get S rank or whatever, she's just great. And finally, Listell can be used at low star levels. My Listell is 5 stars, but she is very, very usable even at 4 stars, which is very rare amongst heroes. Right? There's very few heroes who can be used at low star levels. Moving on then. So that is Listell. Next is Lanford. Now, Lanford is one hero that I myself have not built. Okay. But so my Lanford is personally 3 stars. I'm going to sort this by rarity to make it easier to find my lower star heroes. Yes, so there it is, Lanford. Generally speaking, to use Lanford, it's recommended to have him at 5 stars, because Lanford is one of the characters who is very reliant on his talent. The main reason, the whole reason to use him really, is due to his talent, which can buff allied stats, right? So if you have him at 6 stars, perfect, but he is very useful even at 5 stars. Other than that, the thing to keep in mind about Lanford is the character he provides bond upgrades to. Okay? So, Lanford, first of all, in order to use Lanford, you're going to need Shaphaniel and Landius to unlock his bonds. Right? Other than that, in terms of bond unlock, I believe the main character Lanford unlocks bonds on is actually Wyler. So if you use Wyler for PvP like I do, you're going to need 1 copy of Lanford, which is why it's kind of important to draw for him, right? Otherwise, you truly don't really need Lanford unless you plan to build him up, right? It is important to note, he can make a bunch of PvE content easier because he provides stat buffs to all the allies that are close to him. But once again, I myself don't have him built up, right? And I've cleared all content. So I guess that's a pretty good look at whether you need Lanford or not, right? And the final character is Angelina. So Angelina, in my opinion, like Lanford, falls under the nice to have but not must build category. She is very nice to have because she is one of, I think, only 2 characters who can provide attack command, right? All allies within 2 blocks gain plus attack, plus 10% attack and int. So in that sense, she can be very useful, especially to buff up, let's say, a princess party or meteor party with the attack command so that they hit harder. But once again, she is not required. In order to use her, I generally say she has to be 5 stars, if not 6 stars once again. Because if you're using her, you do want her to be able to do a lot of damage, which means star level. Other than that, the other reason I don't think Angelina is absolutely needed is because she's generally used in her flyer class. You use her in her flyer class with Tidal Surge, right? To give her extra mobility as well. Well, the thing is, you have a lot of flyers in the factions that she's a part of. Princess especially has Shuri, Luna, right? Those are the 2 most common flyers for the Princess faction. So do you really need Angelina as a 3rd flyer? Not really. For the Meteor faction, once again, Shuri is here, and you also have Claret, right? As in my opinion, the superior flyer. And then for Yeless Legends, once again, there is Claret here. So, and technically, you can say Listell flies as well. So whether you really need Angelina is very questionable. With that said, you know, she has utility less even in non-combat roles for tidal surge and then using alternate to move allies forward. But once again, as I keep saying, you don't need her. She's very much a nice to have if you want to use her in combat. With that said though, Angelina's more important part is using her for unlocking bonds. Okay? Because in terms of bonds, she unlocks, most importantly, she unlocks Shafaniel. Okay? If you plan to use Shafaniel at all, for her to have high intelligence, you need Angelina, because that Angelina unlocks Shafaniel's 5th bond. You can't really see it right now because I already have it maxed out, but this bond is unlocked by Angelina. So without Angelina, Shafaniel is next to useless. Well, I won't say useless, but Shafaniel can't do as much damage as she really should be able to. Okay. And other than Angelina, the other character whose bonds... other than Shafaniel, the other character whose bonds Angelina unlocks is actually Rachel. Rachel gets her toughness bond unlocked by Angelina. So it's not as critical as using Shafaniel, but if you want a tanky Rachel, that is, you want to be able to upgrade this toughness bond, you're going to need Angelina as well. So there we have it. So that really concludes this video. There's really not anything else to say because this was such a small patch. It really just had this. And I suppose the other thing that came with this patch, sort of, but not really, is that the Forbidden Battleground now has the 2nd battlefield unlocked, right? I say sort of, but not really, because for the Forbidden Battleground, every 7 days, one of these battlegrounds unlocks. So right now we can do the 2nd battleground to do the battles to get all those feats and get all these ancient coins to purchase things in the Forbidden Store. Right. So I will be doing a video on this later on. Thanks for watching everyone. I hope you found this video useful. And on that note, Nitro out.